I'm the Beauty Professor, and you can find my beauty blog at beautyprofessor.net. Today, I'm excited to share with you a super quick tutorial, something that constitutes my everyday effortless look as of late. And I'm using a minimum of products, like 7 of them, I think, if I'm being exact. So my intent is, of course, to get back in the game with a video that hopefully you find useful and helpful, but also showcase some of the products that I have been loving in the last couple of months, because I feel like they just create a really effective face that stays in place even through extreme heat like we're experiencing right now. I know that my video production on this channel has been a little slow lately. I have been continuing to be consistent with content on Beauty Professor, but between ending the school year and taking care of a lot of projects this summer, my videos have not been created and produced at the pace or rate that I would prefer. That being said, I'm excited to share this particular video with you today, and I have updated my filming space a little bit, which hopefully will make things more conducive to regular filming. And without any further ado, let's jump right into the tutorial. So when it's this hot and it is sweltering, I typically embrace a single skincare step. In this case, the La Métier de Beauté Peau Vierge Complex in shade 2, which I've worn for years, and I can wear this shade year round. I've already primed my face with a pea-sized amount of this. It offers me hydration and illumination. It's very lightly tinted, and it also has SPF protection, so it's a non-negotiable in my routine. I do have that on my face right now. I've been experimenting a lot with the Grand Lips Collagen Boosting Plumper, which is a lip plumper, and I find that it really delivers kind of intense hydration. It also makes my lips look and feel fuller, and it promises to enhance that fullness over the course of like a month of regular use. So I'm going to continue experimenting with it. I've used it for about a week and I'm really impressed. It does provide me with an obvious difference in terms of my lips looking and feeling fuller. So those are the 2 products I have on right now. I'm going to move on to foundation. As promised, I'm going to be using just 7 products for a complete face that can be achieved in around 5 minutes. So I'm going minimum time, minimum amount of products, hopefully maximum impact. I'm going to be starting with the Temp2 Air, which I've used in tutorials before. I really like it for the summertime because this formula, once you put it on your face and it sets or dries down, it just stays in place all day, even through intense heat and humidity. Today I'm working with the shade number 7, which is natural. I can also wear beige and warm beige, but natural is a little bit darker, and since I do have somewhat of a tan, then I feel like I need a little bit darker shade. I have it on the medium setting, which is going to give me medium coverage, and I'll be using a mirror off to the side so that I can get some clarity about my application. So you just pull the toggle back like this and allow the product to just be evenly distributed along the face. I like to do round circles, which are suggested, and you don't need to get super close to the face at all, about 4 or 5 inches away, and you're getting great coverage. Building around, bringing it down to the neck. And what I really like about the Temp2 Air, and I've just finished up my face, it took me maybe 20 more seconds of eyes closed just so that I can get around the orbital area without it getting onto my contacts. And what I really like about this particular way of applying foundation is you don't really need to go over any areas with additional concealer. So areas where I have more darkness, perhaps the under eye region, if I have the remnants of a spot, I can just go over those areas with a little bit more Temp2 and concentrate my focus there, so I can simply have a single base for the entire face. It takes a while, I find, for the formula to dry down on my face when it's extra humid, which it is right now in Southern California. So a little tip I like to do is just turn it on to full power and let the air dry my face like this. I'm not pulling the lever down, so no product is being dispensed, just air, and that expedites the drying process for me so that I can move on to my next step. Next, to expedite my cheeks, which would be bronzing, contouring, blushing, and a touch of highlight, I'm going to be working with a singular product, and that is the By Terry Sun Designer Palette in shade 2, which is light and tan vibes. Now, I recently ordered a backup of this because I find myself using this so much. You can see that this palette has received a lot of. I'm actually making clear indents into the pan, and I haven't hit pan yet, but I feel like that's going to be any day now because I use it so much. Now I'm working with the Chiku Hodo brush. It's the GSN 04. I've used it a lot in the last almost 2 years now, and so I like to just use one brush for the entire palette. That may be slightly unsophisticated, but it's certainly a time saver, and I find that these shades are so blendable that it works. So I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to sweep it along the lower 2 stripes, which kind of like a rosy tan and then a true brown tan. Both of these powders are fairly matte. And then I'm just going to suck in my cheeks and apply like I would a bronzer or a contour. Sweeping upward to define the face. So you've got definition, not as much definition. Go ahead and bring it down across the perimeters of my face, and also down the bridge of my nose, a little bit more up here, through here, and then of course finish the other cheek. And there you go. Now I'll take a little bit more of the powder on my brush. In this case, I'll focus on the rosy tan and this kind of matte beige, almost white tan. And I'm just gonna put a little bit right there on the brush and bring that through the upper cheeks. I find that it's a little bit mattifying. It really evens out skin tone nicely and preps the cheeks for blush. So it's almost like a pre-highlighting step, and I like. A little tip, if you don't want to bother with under eye concealer, and really I feel like the Temptude basically took care of my under eye region, but if I need a little more brightening, I actually just put a little bit of this beige powder on my ring fingertip and just tap it through the under eye region. I find that it just sets the makeup nicely under the eye. It brightens things without being conspicuous. And to finish this palette, I'll be using some of the rosy shades as blush. And I actually mix the luminous peach tone here with the pink, put a little bit on my brush, smile, and then focus that on the apples of my cheeks. Like that, and you get a great luminous pop of color. This isn't going to be the entirety of my highlight. I'll show you how I'm going to take care of that momentarily. But this is a very effective way of applying blush. If I'm feeling like I have extra time, I might take a little bit more of this bronzy brown luminous stripe, whereas these are not particularly luminous. They're almost matte in nature, creamy matte. This is a luminous one, and I can actually add it across my contour for a touch of luminosity. That's more evident outdoors than it probably will be in. To finish with highlighting, and I think that's just such an imperative summer step because it just plays so well with sunlight and the effortlessness of summertime. So I like to make sure my skin is nice and glowy yet not oily or greasy. So to enhance the highlighting effects that I've already put in place, I'm going to use the Temptude highlighter in Golden. I want to show you how I just pop out one pot very quickly, very easily, and pop in the other. I've already primed this one by pulling this little lever here, and you also have to open it up so that the airflow is there, and then you just pop it into place like that. Now I'm going to put it on the lowest setting because once you put a highlighter on, it's there. It's hard to remove after you put the rest of your face. First setting here, and I'm going to use a mirror to ensure that my placement is just where I want it, which is going to be my upper cheekbones, a little bit across the brow bone, down the bridge of my nose, and maybe a touch at the Cupid's bow, perhaps a little bit more in the forehead area, as long as it is very beige gold. And that's all I need right there on that side. A little bit more right there, down the bridge of the nose. Cupid's bow, forehead, and my brow bone. Hopefully the lighting in here is picking up just the glowiness that, as I've said, once it dries down, and I'm going to use this tool just to dry it a little bit, it will stay in place for the entire day without budging. It's impervious to the most inclement of weather. Guys, I am all about a warm, neutral outcome. And one of the most streamlined ways of achieving that is with this new Clé de Peau Eye Color Quad number 316, which looks like this. Just one of the best displays of warm neutrals I have come into contact with. Every shade is super wearable and every shade just contributes to that overall result. Start by applying the first shade, which is kind of a medium bronzy brown. I'm going to sweep this across my eyelid for an overall wash of color, and then I'll be using the brighter and the darker shades to enhance, to add a little bit of contrast. But this is really the most prominent of the shades I'll be using on my eye. It's a great base shade for that warm neutral effect. Go ahead and repeat this on the other eye. Blending in. This particular eyeshadow formula is very smooth, buttery. It doesn't crease on my lids, and I don't even wear it with primer, but I find that it performs so well for hours on end. It's very pigmented, but I love the fact that it's got this very rich satin finish, which I think is forgiving in terms of just an overall wash of color. You don't have to worry about perfect application. Luminous, not glittery, and just very natural. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and take some of this more orange shade, definitely stepping up the warm neutral game, and I'm going to place it right here in the center of my eye for a pop of color, so you can actually see that when the eye is open and when it's shut. Just kind of blending that in there. And then I'll take the lightest shade and I'm going to bring that across the brow bone here like this, all the way up. It's a light kind of sorbet orange shade that you can actually wear all the way up to the brow bone without looking theatrical in nature. Just blends so well. And then I'll take a touch of this darker brown and just bring it into the crease here. Very minimally. This is a daytime look and a quick look, so I'm not using a lot there. I will sweep a little bit more of the first and the third shade along my lower lash line here for continuity. Aside from mascara, which I'll apply in a moment, my eyes are basically finished with a single palette here. Despite the fact that I use a lot of high-end and luxury beauty products, I wouldn't call myself an elitist in that. Meaning that I am a fan of any product that works. If it performs well, it doesn't really matter to me where the price point is, which is why I could feel comfortable splurging on something very expensive if it's going to deliver results, but also be just as happy with something at perhaps a more reasonable price point. Which brings me to mascara. This is the Maybelline New York Colossal Spider Effect Volume Express Mascara. It's a super long name for mascara, but I've been using this since the start of summer and I'm really impressed. I'll probably be buying a new tube soon. Here is this interesting kind of, it looks kind of like a crocodile head or an alligator head. And it allows me to get really close on the flat side, but also use the bristles, of course, to build volume and length. The formula itself is very deep dark black. It also adds amazing length and volume here. A couple of coats. And I'll show you the result momentarily. So here are 2 coats of the mascara on this eye, and of course no mascara yet on this side, but I just wanted to show you the difference. I know that YouTube and of course beauty blogs are just rife with false eyelashes, and they can be very impactful. I know that. They look beautiful. I don't tend to wear them. I neither have the time nor the desire to want to glue things on my eyes most of the time. And for that, I appreciate a mascara that gives a false lash effect. I do find that this performs really well in that regard. So my lashes are long, they're dark, they're fluttery, and they stay in place. I haven't curled them, I've just let them be as they are. And I find that even wearing contacts and having watery eyes because of allergies, that this does not smudge or move over the course of the day. So I've definitely tested it in some pretty extreme situations and I'm deeply pleased with the results. I'm going to finish this eye and I'll be back. For brows, I'm keeping it very simple. So I tend to be a natural brow girl to begin with. I do very little to my brows. I let them just kind of grow as they will. I haven't even plucked it all this summer, so they just grow in, they're full. They are dark and they've always been way darker than my natural hair color, and I just leave it as it is. But that being said, I do like groomed and polished brows. I'm working with the Surratt Brow Pomade, and this is such a lovely formula. I started using this last fall and am so pleased with it. So it's got this great little comb and a formula that adds texture and polish and holding power to your brows. You get a nice kind of just brushed up effect. Your brows look alive. So I like to just brush up and let them be. And finally, for lips, I'm going to be working with two products today. This is a combination I've been reaching for a lot. I don't know about you, but I love to mix colors. I find that even though I'm on a perennial search for my perfect shade, perfect formula, that holy grail product, that at the end of the day, most of my favorite lip results come from the mixing of different colors and textures to get that just quintessential lip. Starting off with the Gucci Deep Matte lip color in Spring Rose. I've featured this on my blog before. This is a true full coverage matte formula that just makes the lips look fuller and healthy. Spring Rose is a great medium, slightly pinky beige, but it's really a great neutral. I'm dabbing down my lips a little bit so that I can get some of the matte effect. I have had that Grand Lips on. And now I'm just going to apply it directly from the tube. You can see already it gives great opaque coverage. It's creamy, and for a matte formula, I find it's fairly hydrating. And that's the first pass with the first color. Now I could just stop right here. I feel like this lip color adds impact, definition to the lips. It's nude without washing the face out, even if I'm tan. I don't feel like this nude is too light if you like a great nude lip. And so I could leave it right here, but I'm going to step it up with another summertime lip color favorite. That is the Louboutin Loubilac lip gloss in Bikini. But when these launched, I knew I would try Bikini in the gloss formula. This is like a liquid lipstick, especially with Bikini. It is super opaque and long-lasting and moisturizing. So because I'm going for a slightly deeper lip, I'm going to use some Bikini, which I'm happy to wear alone by itself, but I wanted to demonstrate the pairing of it in this video. But it does perform really well by itself. Doe foot applicator, and I'm just gonna focus it on the center of my lips and then mix. Yes, that does kind of mitigate the matte effect of the Gucci formula, but I'm going for an all over balance in this particular look and something that will last all day. I find that once this gloss is applied and kind of let it set, it really does perform over the course of hours without that need for a touch-up. The final way that I have been completing my summertime look in the last month or two has been with a spritz of the Byredo Mojave Ghost fragrance. I love this fragrance, and I am so captivated by this particular fragrance. It's light, it's unique, but it has great lasting power, and every time I'm wearing it, somebody will be like, oh, what's that? And so I almost don't want to share the secret of Mojave Ghost, except that if I'm being authentic, I need to talk about it because I use it so much. It's got kind of a sweet, fruity, violet, floral, musk, dry down. I can't ever put fragrance into words the way I would like to, but I will say that it's amazing on the skin. And while I do like to wear it year-round, I feel like it's extra apropos for summertime. And so concludes my 5-minute-ish face with a minimum of products, just 7 to be exact. And to close, I wanted to just bring Jethro into frame for a moment, say hi. I've been getting to spend so much time with him this summer, and I couldn't be more grateful for that. He is a perfect companion. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you liked this video, please subscribe. And as always, don't forget to visit me at Beauty Professor, which can be found at beautyprofessor.net. Take care.